Haidong! In this video, we're going to talk about sparring footwork, the transverse shuffle. I made that term up because I thought it was fun. So we did our angles, we did our passing and transverse step, we did our passing pivot or passing turn, however you want to do that. Let's talk about that transverse step and how to kind of get out of there, right? For whatever reason, I like going to my left first. So if you have a very neutral stance, you're going to step across, right? So I have this line, I'm going to step the one that's opposite it. I'm going to step across here. Notice I'm going to step in, so to over-exaggerate it, and I'll pants you a little bit here. I'm going to bring this foot in. I'm going to pivot and step back here. That looks kind of strange slow. It's not going to look that strange as we kind of do this a few times, right? So if we're here, transverse, step, step. Okay? Same thing going the other side, right? So if I'm here, neutral stance, stepping transverse, step, step, back, right? And as you can probably imagine, we can do this in a neutral stance. We can try it in our typical open hand fighting stance. You can do it in our Gumdo open stance. Because I don't even know why I did it, but because I did a lot of Taekwondo style kind of ones here. Let's start off with those. Again, it's not going to look super new, right? So if we're here, right, with our right foot back, it's going to step across, right? And we're going to shuffle, shuffle back, right? Now, same thing with last video. You can do another step back just to make sure you're good and you have your safe distance. But I'm also going to do it facing this way, right? So here, it's actually going to be my front foot this time. Coming across, 1, 2, back, right? Those things are a little bit harder on this side to get that extra one back if you really needed to throw that in there. You could. This is a little bit more work. But let's do it also with what we're going to be using for our fighting stance and sword, which is going to be our Gumdo open hand with our right foot forward here. Transverse step is going to be the weird one for this side just because it's going off to the side here. Shuffle, shuffle, back. That side, so this is going to be the side that is what the Federation wanted for our X block. So if we want to evade to our right, this is the stepping we would use. So if we're here, stepping our left foot across, step, step, back. So this one I think makes a little bit more sense when you actually have a target in front of you. But this is our transverse shuffle stepping pattern. You know the drill. So if you want to start neutral from here, what I recommend is, so similar to what we did last time, stepping, using our kind of stepping foot. I'm going to step here with my the same foot. I'm going to step in, kind of like almost like patty cake if you want, here and back this way. It's kind of weird in a neutral position, right? But again, so from neutral, going to the left, step, switch your hands, and back. Now this is really more of a prototype for this side, but it's going to be the same thing other way as well. So whatever foot's moving, kind of same hand, right? Just face, switch hands, push back. So facing this way, right? Which is always nice to have a microphone now, right? So transverse step, face, shift, back, right? Same thing on the other side. So from here, face, transverse step, shift, back, right? So now that we've done that a few times from our neutral step, try it from your typical fighting stance. So starting from our fighting stance, our typical open hand fighting stance, if we're here, stepping across, right? I'm still going to be using my reverse side, so this will give me a little bit of power, but also kind of using that shoulder as a little bit of a guard if I need to. So punching off this way, right? Again, using a little bit of a roll of that shoulder just to make sure you're covered, your jaw is a little more covered. I'm going to come in with a nice quick little jab if I want. So I'm coming in here, jab, push, and I'm going to do a double step back here. I'll do that again. So from here, right? So power punch. If you want to, you could still do an upset punch if you want to, or uppercut, sorry. So coming in here, punch, right? And using your shift, your little shuffle here, 1, 2, back, right? So for me, when I like to do this is actually when I actually shift the weight in the feet, do I throw that punch? I'll do it facing in case this helps a little bit more. So if I'm here, right, stepping across, again, transverse coming across. So coming in with that typical punch, when I actually throw my weight is when I'm about to actually step back. Coming in, bang, here, right? Very mean, so don't do this to an actual person per se, but that's going to be the idea. Likewise, you can do it with the opposite here. This time it'll be the front foot moving, so it's a little bit more awkward. But from here, again, this time throwing a jab here, you can actually use this shift. Notice I'm actually slightly out of range. Using this shift to actually get your power hand. It's almost like you're going to kind of whip around. In this case, you can actually use a hook or just a straight on punch, really up to you. From here, coming in, bang, coming this way. It's really up to you however you want to do that, but doing some more open hand aspects for funsies. This one's going to look pretty similar, but this kind of gives you a little bit more of a wider view of this particular move, right? So you probably now know what my favorite block is, right? Someone's being sassy with me, trying to end my life. So what I'm going to do is actually use my elbow as a cover as I transfer step. Now the major thing with this particular stepping pattern is it is quite easy to actually fully navigate around your opponent. Now in a life in this situation and something that's a little bit more like if you actually do get in a fight, this is kind of what you want to do. So if you do cover, usually, again, this is not like an honorable thing in some societies, but honestly, if someone's really trying to end your life and you have the option, use this time to get out, right? It's not worth that fight. So what's really nice about this one is imagining, again, their momentum's coming towards me. I'm just skimming past here. Sorry, I'm going to use my correct footwork, right? I'm skimming past here, and notice if I really, really try to, I could really step across if I want to be mean and kind of low. I can go for like a kidney shot below, even back of the head. But honestly, because their momentum is going this way, this is a time for you just to get out. However, because we all have like that superhero complex where we think we can, so that's the ideal case. This is a really good one to just get out of the situation without actually hurting them that much, because this is just really the major thing you're doing. Notice you can do the same thing with a hook, kind of like hooking them, or even like wrapping around, or not wrapping, but using your whole body kind of to shield you from like a punch or a kick. You can even like grab like between the shoulder blades and use that to just push your way through if you needed to. Anyway, let's have some hurt fun, right? So same thing here, using your elbow to kind of cover in case they do actually do like a haymaker or any sort of like head level hit. So from here, something you can do is, again, stepping in. You can either do a nice little elbow if you want. You can also just do a nice punch. But the main thing with this one, I'm kind of going around target. The main thing with this one is it opens up the wide range. Moving up here, if you want to be that guy, back of the head, meat of the shoulder if you just want them to move. Kidney shot. If you're weird, hip shot. Really kind of like whatever you're going to be doing. Noticing this is also a pretty decent shift if you want to do a kick, for example. I know last time we talked about this way and then doing a back kick, but you could also do this to kind of get in. If I wanted to kind of do a nice shuffle bang, also could do that. Anyway, just kind of giving you options kind of to play with this footwork. I notice I haven't really gone in this direction yet. So if this is here, they're being sassy with me, so less of a distance, but I can still get a decent amount. Like coming in, cover, right, making sure you're covering your head as much as you can. If I need to, 1, 2, push, right? I can still bug out if I need to. Again, noticing I have less of a range this way just because the foot had to shift over instead of just step through. But this is another way that you can kind of get out of there if you need to. Hopefully that makes sense. So the last one is going to be weird to see me do, but has some fun aspects to it. There's going to be a little bit of a grappling move in here. The idea of it is, again, someone's striking you in some way. You're actually going to wrap and snake your arm around their, in this case, it will be their right arm. So as you step through, using kind of closing the distance, kind of make them lose that power, right? Because if you're close to them, this has less power than this just because of centrifugal force. Coming in this way, you can think about snake. I'm going to use my offhand, actually go behind the shoulder blade to step, pull back. I know you could not really see that. I'll do it facing this way. So if I'm here, transverse step, snake through, stepping, again, imagine you're going to chicken wing them, here, back. This is another thing you can do. This is, if you're not used to it, and again, if there's a knife involved, don't. But if there's a punch coming in and you can kind of feel okay, cover and snake, this is a good fun move you can kind of do.